Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to see JavaScript advanced working with functions, recursion and stack and REST parameters and also about spread syntax. My name is Anthony and I am from Loyola College. Let's begin. Functions. So what are functions? As we already know, a JavaScript function is a block of code designed to perform a particular task. A JavaScript function is executed when something invokes it or calls it. Generally speaking, a function is a subprogram that can be called by code, external or internal in the case of recursion, to the function. Like the program itself, a function is composed of a sequence of statements called the function body. Values can be passed to a function and the function will return a value. This is where the function is used for, and we'll see what the recursion and stack in this function we are using. So next, what is recursion? Recursion is a programming pattern that is useful in situations when a task can be naturally split into several tasks of the same kind, but simpler, or when a task can be simplified into an easy action plus a simpler variant of the same task, or as I will explain it a little bit later, to deal with the certain data structures. When a function solves a task, it can call many other functions. A partial case of this written when functions call itself. This is called as recursion. A recursion is a technique for iterating over an operation by having a function call itself repeatedly until it arrives a result. Most loops can be rewritten in a recursive style, and in some functions languages, this approach to looping is default. However, while JavaScript's function coding style does support recursive function, we need to be aware that most JavaScript compilers are not currently optimized to support them safely. Recursion is best applied when you need to call the same function repeatedly again and again with different parameters from within a loop using for, while, if, and etc. While it can be used in many situations, it is the most effective for solving problems involving iterative branching such as fractal max, sorting, or traversal, the nodes of complex or nonlinear data structure. This is where the recursion is used. We already know that JavaScript will let us write function that functions as an argument. So what if we want to see use actual function we are writing and executing in the context of it? They are singing the same, right? Okay, see. The counter is equal to 10 while counter greater than or equal to 0. We'll print that counter minus minus. So the while loop will goes on running infinity. When this is done, the value of the counter has been changed, but the loop has done its job of printing out. Each value held as we slowly suck the state out of it. So this is where the recursive function used. So the recursive version of the same loop will more look like this. See here, the countdown is equal to function. The parameter is passed as value. If value is greater than 0, we'll print in console log the value. Return countdown value minus 1, else return false. So the countdown is defined as 10 here. So until it goes on 10, the function will keep repeating its value, its job. So it will keep on returning the value, that is from minus 1 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 until 10. It will goes on looping. This is what the recursion is used. So we cannot write within the function, we can also write outside the function. This is where the recursion is very useful for us. We are familiar with little bit of JavaScript, but we don't yet what stacks are. You are in luck. That's because you can imagine a stack as an array, except simpler. Both have methods that include push and pop. Stack is, however, last in first out. Think of it as a stack of dishes. You already put dishes in stack, and now you want to take them off. So you grab one directly on top and remove it. Below it's an example. Below it's an example in description. I will show in there how the dishwasher is continuously popping a value of the task. This sounds way too simple to be valuable data structure, right? Let's talk about a simple use case. Your browser backs button, you would create a stack of URLs, then push every URL on the top of the stack. If you press the back button, it would pop off the current URL. A stack is a data structure that holds a list of elements. A stack works based on the last in first out principle, that is last in first out, meaning that most recently added element is the first one to remove. A stack has two main operations that occur, one at the top of the stack, push and pop. The push operation places an element at the top of the stack, whereas pop element removes the element from the top of the stack. This name stack comes from the analogy to the set of physical items, example DVD disc, books stacked on the top of each other. So this is what the stack is about. The JavaScript array type provides a push and pop method that allows you to use an array as a stack. So let's see what this push method is. The push method allows you to add one or more elements to the end of the array. The push method returns the value of the length property that specifies the number of elements in the array. If you consider an array as a stack, the push elements add one or more element at the top of the stack. In the description, I have given an example that creates an empty array stack named stack and add 5 numbers one by one. At the end of the stack array, it like to push each number into the top of the stack. So next, what is mean by pop method? The pop method removes the element at the end of the array and returns the element to the caller if the array is empty. The pop method returns the undefined when the array nothing in the array is there. In the example, the stack.pop 5. In the previous example, we have entered 5 elements into the using push method. In the stack method, we are removing the element at the top. The last element we have entered is 5. So 5 is at the top. So we are removing 5. Next 4, next 3, next 2. Simultaneously, all numbers will be removed from using the pop method. So when no element is in the array, then it return as undefined. So this is what the pop method is all about. So next, the rest parameter. The rest parameter syntax allows us to represent an infinite number of arguments as an array. A function last parameter can be prefixed with the dot symbol, which will cause all remaining used supplied arguments to place within a standard JavaScript on the array. Only the last parameter can be rest parameter. There are three different main differences between rest parameters and the argument object. Rest parameters are only the ones that have been given a separate name that is formally defined in function expression, while the argument object contains all arguments passed to the function. The argument object is not a real array, while rest parameters are array instances, meaning methods like sort, map, for each, or pop can be applied on it directly. The arguments object has additional functionality specific to itself, like call property. The rest parameter is an improved way to handle functional parameter, allowing us to make more easily handle various input as parameters in a function. The rest parameter syntax allows us to represent an infinite number of arguments as an array. With the help of rest parameters, a function can be called with any number of arguments, as I already said, no matter how it is defined. Rest parameters added in year 2015 and year 6, which improve the ability of the handle parameter. So this is what rest parameter is all about. Next, spread syntax. Spread syntax allows an iterable such as an array expression or string to be expanded in places where 0 or more arguments for functions or elements for an array iterables are expected, or an object expression to be expanded in places where 0 or more value key pairs are expected. Let's all agree that above definition is a handful and none of us got a word in time to save. So let's start with the most basic thing about the spread syntax. The spread syntax is operates just the three dots. It can be used on iterables like an array or a string. It expands an iterable to its individual elements. It can provide a function call with an array or any other iterable where 0 or more arguments were expected. Spread syntax also allow an iterable such as an array expression or string to be expanded in places where 0 or more arguments, as I already said, are expected, or an object expression to be expanded in the places where 0 or more key value pairs are expected also. So in the given example, the function sum xyz return xyz. The number is equal to 1, 2, 3 are defined. In the console log, we are printing the numbers, which is represented by 3 dots, which is called as spread syntax. The expected output is 6. So the sum dot apply. So this is a function dot apply null and number. So the output will be 6. So this is what the spread syntax is all about. So in this session, we seen about advanced working with function, recursion and stack, and also rest parameters and spread syntax. So this is all about today's session. I will see you in next section. Thank you.